Good day everyone, I'm Crystal Joy De Jose and I'm here to discuss the three countries which is Micronesia, Nauru, and New Zealand. So the first country is Micronesia. Micronesia, country in the Western Pacific Ocean, it is composed of more than 600 islands and islets in the Caroline Islands archipelago, and it's divided roughly along cultural and linguistic lines into the state from west to east Yap, Chuuk, Pohnpei, and Kosrae. The capital is Palikir on the island of Pohnpei. So next is physical geography. Most of the islands that make up Micronesia are low coral atolls, although the western edge of the region includes high islands formed by volcanic activity or geological uplifting. The region's inherent scarcity of flood, potential for drought, and exposure to cyclones are constant realities confronting its inhabitants. Next is topography and climate. The penetrated state of Micronesia has an oceanic tropical climate that is uniformly hot and humid. The average daily temperature range is 22 degrees to 32 degrees Celsius, with little variation due to season. Rainfall range from about 4,500 millimeters on Yap to almost 8,000 millimeters in the mountain of Pohnpei. And for the demographics, 49.7% of the penetrated state of Micronesia's population is female, while 50.3% of the population is male. At the start of 2023, 23.3% of the penetrated state of Micronesia's population live in urban centers, while 76.7% live in rural areas. So next is gastronomy. So yung mga Micronesians, mahilig sila sa mga pagkaing may coconut milk. So first is coconut chicken curry. It is one of the most popular dishes in Micronesia. This delicious dish features grilled chicken and vegetables in a creamy coconut curry. Second is kuwakir. Kuwakir is a Micronesian dish consisting of sweet potatoes soaked in coconut milk. This dish is traditionally cooked in an iron pot called a wampot, and is prepared with ground yam and yam cubes boiled in coconut milk until soaked. This dish is typical of Pohnpei, where yam is one of the main crops. Next is customs and culture. Family, religion, sharing, and hospitality are important parts of all significant Pacific islands of Micronesia's culture. Fishing, farming, and cultivating tree crops remain the most common occupation of most island residents. Each island also has its own intricate patrilineal clan systems and extended family networks. The Micronesian peoples can be divided into two cultural groups, the High Islanders and the Low Islanders. The Palawans, Camaros, Yapis, Chukis, Pohnpeians, Kosraeans, and Nauruans belong to the High Islanders group. The inhabitants of the Low Islands atolls are the Marshallese and the Kiribati, whose culture is distinct from the High Islanders. And here's the tourist destination of Micronesia. First is Keperohi Waterfalls, second the Blue Hole, third the Eton Islands, and last is Jeep Island. And visa entry requirements for Philippine passport holder. First is valid passport, at least 120 days from date of entry. Second, entry permit for those staying more than 30 days, and onward or return ticket. So now let's proceed to the next country, which is Nauru. The political geography of Nauru, officially the Republic of Nauru, is a small oval-shaped island in the western Pacific Ocean, 26 miles or 42 kilometers south of the equator. Nauru is the world's smallest island nation, covering just 21 square kilometers, 8.1 square miles, the smallest independent republic, and the only republic in the world without an official capital. Next is physical geography. Nauru is a 21 square kilometers, 8.1 square miles, oval-shaped island in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, 55.95 kilometers, 34.77 miles south of the equator. The island is surrounded by a coral reef which exposes a low tide and dotted with pinnacles. Next is topography. Nauru, one of the most largest phosphate rock islands in the Pacific, is oval-shaped and fringed by a wine-colored reef. Next is climate. Nauru has a dry season marked by easterly trade winds and a wet season with westerly monsoons extending from November to February. And for the demographics, Nauru's total population was 12.7 thousand in January 2023. Data shows that Nauru's population increased by 118, plus 0.9% between 2022 and 2023. 49.2% of Nauru's population is female, while 50.8% of the population is male. So next is gastronomy. The national dish of Nauru is coconut fish, the third smallest country in the world with a land of just 8.1 square miles. Nauru is abundant in fish, seafood, and coconuts. Most of the food ingredients are imported, except for fish and coconut, which have become national food symbols of Nauruans cuisine. Coconut-crusted fish is a widely popular dish, typically consisting of white fish fillets marinated in lime juice, salt, and pepper. In order to prepare it, the fillets are rolled in flour, eggs, and grated coconut before being fried until the coconut becomes crusted. Although the traditional recipe uses freshly grated coconut, we use store-bought coconut flakes for convenience reasons. Coconut fish is traditionally served warm with a couple of lime slices on the side. Next is customs and culture. Traditional culture is a mix of Micronesian, Melanesian, and Polynesian cultures. There are 12 tribes, and while descent is matrilineal, there are some features regarding kinship and inheritance that are patrilineal. Christianity is the dominant religion, while the traditional culture has given way to the contemporary, as elsewhere in Micronesia. Music and dance still rank among the most popular art forms. Rhythmic singing is performed at celebrations. Craftsmen make clothes, pans of coconut leaves, and mats of pandanus. And here's the tourist destination of Nauru. First is Ani Berber, second Wada Lagoon, third is Central Plateau. So, the visa entry requirements for Philippine passport holder. First, holding Philippine passport that is valid for 6 months beyond the period of the intended stay in Nauru. Second, proof of on-world travel or departure from Nauru. So now let's proceed to the third country, which is New Zealand. So the political geography of New Zealand consists of 16 regions, 7 in the South Island and 9 in the North, and a number of outlying islands that are not included within regional boundaries. The Chatham Islands is not a region, although its council operates as a region under the Resource Management Act. So next is physical geography. New Zealand is located in the South Pacific Ocean at 41 degrees south and 174 degrees east, near the center of the water hemisphere. It is a long and narrow country extending 1,600 kilometers and 990 miles along its northeast axis with a maximum width of 400 kilometers and 250 miles. The land size of 267,710 square kilometers, 103,360 square miles, make it the sixth largest island countries. New Zealand consists of a large number of islands, estimated around 600. So next is topography and climate. New Zealand lies in the temperate zone and has generally mild, invigorating climate, although with sharp regional contrasts. The rugged terrain of the country has a dramatic effect on the weather. Many parts of the country are subject to high winds and rains, followed by a sharp drops in temperature. January and February warmest months, July normally the coldest. From December through February spells of cool, damp weather occur even in the summer. Rainy winter days of June and July, August are interspersed with days of brilliant sunshine and crisp clear air. October, November, and December are particularly windy months. So for the demographics, there are 2.39 million males and 2.47 million females in New Zealand. The percentage of female population is 50.85% compared to 49.15% male population. New Zealand has 82.92 thousand more females than males. New Zealand is at 55th position out of 201 countries and territories in terms of female to male ratio. So here's the gastronomy of New Zealand. First is fish and chips. The first dish most New Zealanders would claim represents their country is the classic fish and chips, or as the Kiwis say, pash and chops. The origin of this staple takeaway meal is almost certainly Great Britain, where the tradition of eating fish on a Friday due to religious reasons boosted the meal's ranking in British cuisine. Interestingly, the idea of buttering fish most likely came to Britain from Western Sephardic Jewish immigrants in the 17th century who used a butter of water and flour to increase its shelf life. Next is lamb. Historically, the most popular tradition lamb dish was invented by early colonial settlers and somewhat confusingly called colonial goose. Back home, it was common to eat goose at Christmas, but the birds were rare in New Zealand. With lamb being in no short supply, the inventive settlers instead stopped the bone leg of lamb with dried apricots and honey along with herbs and stuffing before marinating the meat in red wine and then cooking. So next is customs. Some of the customs in New Zealand came from Maori culture. For example, you are often expected to take your shoes up indoors and it's important not to sit on tables or pillows. Maori people will often say a prayer, karakia, to bless food before eating, and they may greet you with a kiss on the cheek. Next is culture. Culture of New Zealand is a synthesis of indigenous Maori, colonial British, and other cultural influences. The country's earliest inhabitants brought with them customs and language from Polynesia, and during the centuries of isolation, developed their Maori and Moriori cultures. So here's the tourist destination of New Zealand. First is Millport Sound or Puputahi. Second is Auckland. Third is Queenstown. Fourth is Waitomo Glowworm Caves. And last is Mount Cook National Park. And the visa entry requirements for Philippine passport holder. First is valid passport. Second, digital photo. The picture needs to be as recent as possible. Third, means of payment. Fourth, proof of financial means. And return flight ticket. And that's the end of my report. Thank you for listening.